Hello. For this next lesson, you will be sewing on paper. You have 7 different papers here with different types of lines that you will be following. The instructions are on each of them. For this setup, you will need your packet of papers. You will need to have your bobbin thread threaded with one color, and you'll need your top thread threaded with another color. You want to make sure that your stitch length is as long as your stitch length will go. On my machine, it happens to be a 5, but some of our machines are a 4, and I think one of our machines actually is a 6. The other thing you want to look at is this little dial right here. This is called your tension, and it determines how tight this thread is going in and out of the machine. We want it set to a number 3 while we work on paper. The buttons you're going to need to know is, of course, you're going to be going straight, but you're going to need to know where your backwards button is. It is based on a little U-turn symbol like this. And you're going to need a pair of nippers to trim your thread. So let's get started. The point of doing these papers is to learn the control. The combination of your speed on your foot as well as the control in your hands, and being able to control where you're starting and where you're stopping at each line. All right, so I've got my threads out here. I am going to line up my paper so my first stitch of my needle would start right at that black dot. You'll see right here that my paper kind of curls up on this side. That's fine. Your fabric is going to do that sometimes. In fact, sometimes you have to roll your fabric up to get it through this area because it's kind of small. When we start, you always start with something called a back stitch or a back tack. It is a way we make a knot with our sewing machine. So I'm going to go ahead 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and now I stop, and I'm going to go backwards 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and I'm right back where I started. So now I can go forward. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom and the next dot. And here I am trying to keep my thread lined up with these dash lines. And here I come to the end. So I'm trying to stop my needle right at that last dot. There I go. But now I need to tie another knot. I need to back tack. So I go 1, 2, 3, and I come back 1, 2, 3. Now here, if you have a Brother or a computer genome, you can hit the scissors, and it will automatically cut your thread for you. If you don't, if you have one of the genomes, you're going to lift up, pull your paper out, and this is where you would clip your scissors. I will do that one in the next one. I am going to come up and I'm going to trim my threads right up here at the top. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to trim my thread here too. Now we're just going to copy this on every single line. I'll walk through this one and then I'm just going to keep moving on with the next. There's my 3 forward, my 3 backward. And I'm trying to steer as best as I can. And when I get to the end, I'm going to go back tack, 3 stitches, and forward 3. And now, if I only had a genome with no scissors, I'm going to go ahead and pull, and I'm going to trim out here on my paper. And I'm going to trim this one back here. And now I'm just going to keep going so I can finish my paper up. Don't forget to back tack at the beginning, at the end of each. Oop, I got off. I'm just going to ease back on. Back tack at the end. And that's it. You can see here where I got off of my line. All I did was go back on it. That's fine. This is practice. This is why we do it. Don't try and be perfect. Just try and get through it. So here, you can see I went past my dot just a little bit. It's okay. I'll try and make it up with the next one and try and stop right on the dot. Okay, now I am all done with my first page. And this is what it looks like on the front. Back tacks all across the top, back tacks all across the bottom. Here's how it looks on the back. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and trim my long threads, because this is how you finish your work. You leave your strands, your tails, until you're sure you don't need to use any of them to help with your assignment by holding the fabric down or anything. And once you do, you go ahead and clip them off, and then this page is done. We're going to move on to the next one. This one is called tracing around corners. Now there is a way we want to get around each of these corners, and I'll go over that on this sheet. So we are going to start the same way. Here's my back tack, and I'm trying to stay with the lines. What I'm going to do when I get to my first corner is I'm going to try and stop my needle right on that corner if I can. So I'm going to slow down and do one step at a time. I think that's as close to the corner as I get. Now, I don't just turn the machine here because that would, or turn my fabric, my paper here, because that would give me a curve. I do what is called a lift and pivot. Okay, now my paper doesn't fit, so I'm just going to kind of fold it over and hold it. And then I put my foot back down, take a stitch, and then I keep going. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to try and find that spot. There it is. This is actually called a sink and pivot, not a lift and pivot, though you are lifting as well. So I've sunk my needle in so it can't move. I can't mess up my corner. I've pivoted, so now I can keep going. And you do that at every single corner. You can see that I have not stopped and started again. This is one continuous strand. And here we go, my sink, pivot. Oh, I'm off of my corner a little bit. I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to try and just get right back on my line because this is practice. So I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to try and make it better on the next one. Sink, pivot. Sorry about the camera. Oop, I missed that one too. Here's the one where you can see I missed my corner. I got pretty close, so I'm just going to keep trying to practice until I can get it right on. Sink, pivot, and it's awkward here with this extra paper. It just kind of is what it is, and you do the best you can. Sink, pivot, sink, pivot. Gets harder on that side. Sink, pivot. I totally missed that one. I'm going to have to re-angle here. Sink, pivot. Ooh, you can see I was pretty off. That's okay. That's just a couple. It's not too bad. Sink, pivot, sink, pivot, and now here's the end. So I am going to do my back tack, and then I'm all done. Okay, so here's how it looks on the back. You can see that my corners are pretty straight. They look like a corner. If you don't do the sink and pivot method, what happens is your corners will actually kind of come out curved like this. And you can really tell that you did not go through and sink your needle and pivot your paper. It looks like you just turned your page. So you really want to practice your sink and pivot method. Okay? Is it awful and horrible that I didn't make my corners? No, it's done. We can practice more later with the next thing. So we're going to move on. All right, here's another one. Look, we get to practice again. Lining it up, starting with the back tack. These ones are going to be faster because this row is much shorter. So here we go, trying to get in there. Oh, I already missed the first one. Sink and pivot. So I'm just going to get back on that line. Sink. I got it on that one. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. You can see I don't have any holes. It's because I'm letting the machine do my work for me. If I pulled my paper back, I'd have a bunch of holes here. But I'm letting my machine do the work, and I'm just steering. And then I stop and do my technique of sink and pivot when I need to go ahead and steer a different direction. Sink and pivot. Go. Oops. Sorry about the camera. And sink and pivot. And here I come up at my ending. Back tack, and we're done. So here's the back. Those sink and pivots look pretty good, pretty square. I missed a little bit down here, but is it done? Yeah. So let's move on. Another lines and corners. But this one's fun. We're going to do sextagon? Hexagon? Hexagon. I think that's right. No. Yeah. I think it's sexagon. Okay, so we're going to start at the dot. It doesn't matter which one you do first. You just have to do all three. So I'm going to go back tack. Now this one, these aren't quite as drastic of pivots. So sink, pivot, sink, pivot, sink, pivot, sink, pivot, sink, pivot. Now once I get to the end, I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and back tack again. That was kind of a long back tack. You really want to try and do just 3 stitches. Okay, here's the next one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think that was more. And here we go again. Pivot. One more. Sink. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. Sink. Pivot. Okay, and then we cut it off with scissors. And now here's my last one. Could I go the other way? Yeah, I can. Let's try it. We're going to mix it up a little bit. This one is kind of like for the left-handed people. Oh, yeah, it is. I'm not left-handed, so this is hard. Oh, I missed the corner. I'm too short on that corner. Dang it. That's okay. All the way back for the back tack. There we go. And there we go. Here's what it looks like on the back. I'm going to go ahead. I've got a couple of threads. I definitely have some threads on the front. I'm going to clip those off. Is it perfect? No. Is it done and do I have more to practice? Yeah. Okay, angles. These are some pretty big sink and pivots. Okay, starting at the dot, we do our back tack, or back stitch. It's the same thing. There. There, way around for this one. Okay, I feel like I'm missing some of these. That's pretty close though. It's hard to get it right on sometimes. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Okay. Pivot. Missed that one. Oh, now look, on this one, if I keep sewing, I'm actually going to run over my thread that's there. I don't want to make a knot or a tangle, so I'm going to trim that off ahead of time. I don't know if it would, but I don't want to take any chances because tangles are no fun. And we do our back tack at the end. Scissors, and that's it. There's my star. Now, let's do that box. Oh, I almost forgot my back tack. Pivot. Here's this loose thread in the front. I'm going to cut it. No tangles. And back tag. Done. Okay, here's my star and box. Here's the back. Looking pretty good. Perfect? No, but it's done. All right, so we are going to do some slight curves now. We're practicing the waves. All right. Now, this is important because this is how we go around arms, skirts, certain sections of pants. So the same thing. We're going to do our back tack. And now we are just doing our best to stay with those curves. Do we have to be perfect? No. I'm sorry. Do we have to be perfect? Mr. Goat says no. Oh, definitely not perfect on that one. I am going a little faster. Why am I going a little faster? Well, because I'm getting a little tired of this assignment, right? Because sometimes we get tired of assignments and I just want to be done. But also, my video is now at about 20 minutes and I still have a couple more pages. So I need to make sure and get this done so you guys can get it done. Back tack at the end. Done. I want to show you this one. Look at this second one right here. That's not awesome. That's not awesome. I think I'm going to change my speed down to medium. I have that ability on here. So it's a combination of my machine doing the speed as well as my foot. Okay, so that little tiny oops adjustment helped, except I just went past my end dot. So now I'm just talking a lot. Ugh, okay, it's fine. It's almost done. Is it perfect? No. Is it almost done? Yeah! Scissors. Is this repetitive? Is it annoying to keep doing this over and over again? Maybe. But is it going to make you better at the end? Yeah. Your first one, no, rather your last one should be theoretically better than your first one. If you think about it, because you will have practiced more. Could you still mess up? Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah. Because is it almost done? Yeah. Last back tack. Okay, let's take a look. Here's the back. Those look pretty good. You can see all of my back tacks at the top. You can see them all at the bottom. Look, these at the top are definitely in the 3-stitch range, but these ones at the end have gotten kind of long. I think this is like 5 stitches. That's too many. You definitely want to try and shorten those down. This is a good example of what not to do. You want them to be much more like this, all right? So I am going to come up and do my finish work, which means I trim all of my little threads because that's messy. And we save the messy during and we clean up after. All right, done. Ooh, it was like an earthquake. All right, 2 pages left. We are going to do deeper curves. These ones are pretty wavy. So there's a little bit more control happening here. So back tack. Okay, so here, even I got to slow down. These are pretty deep. Would you ever use this kind of a wavy line in a garment? Yeah, I think that you would actually. Maybe not for a sleeve. Look, this one, my back tack kind of got a little out of control there. I'll have to pay attention to my next ones. You might not use this wavy line in a sleeve, but you would use it for maybe some trim that you're putting on, or a specific design, like a shape to fit a body, a contour. We'll go over that when we start looking at patterns and how to make them fit different shaped bodies. Oh, I'm trying to fix that. Ooh, that back tack's hard. Scissors? Okay, I got that one a little bit better. I think I can do better on this one. Okay, let's see. I think the problem is my end back tack is much longer, and so it's harder to control. Let's see. Okay, slow down. Okay, and only back 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, that made the difference. Remember on the last page, I was making those end ones kind of long? Well, that was messing up my back tack here, because the curve made that long back tack show. Okay, here we go. Oh, too long again, except too long, but I did stay on the line, so it's okay. Why do I make all my end back tacks so long? I never noticed that about myself. I wonder if I do that in my clothing too. Okay, turn it around. It's my last one. Eee. Okay, there we go. Back it up. Oh no, I did it. Okay, I thought I got it all crooked. Okay, let's look. No, I did pretty good. It's not too bad. You can see where I messed up here on my back tacks, but I kind of corrected. I saw what I was doing, and I corrected on my next ones, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. When you see an error, you just make the corrections, and you keep going. So, got a lot of strings. Gonna clip those off. This is part of, it's called finish work. So you always want to take care of your finish work. You're not going to go buy clothes if it's got all these strings hanging off of it, right? Yeah, probably not. Perfect? No. Done? Yeah. Okay. And this is our last one. We are going to do circles. So on the other shape, we start from the outside and moved in. Let's start from the inside and move out this time. Okay, so we're going to start and end our back tack in the same spot. And based on my last back tacks, I'm going to have to be careful with that, because that makes a difference. Oh, I slowed my machine down by accident. That makes a difference on the curve. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ooh, circles are hard. That's okay, because we do the best that we can. There it goes. Done. Number 2. Curvy. Oh, that was not a very good turn on that circle. I'll show you in a second. Oh, boo. Okay. Last one. Gonna do better. I think turning around with the paper being folded up here kind of got stuck and I got messed up. Anybody ever sing in their head while you're working on your stuff? No? Just me? Okay. Stop paying attention for a minute. I'll show you what happens when you do that. Oops. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, let's go see those two spots. Okay, so here is the first one where I said, oh no, and I kind of got off a little bit. And this is when I started not paying attention a little bit. Oops, okay, but I got back on, and then I was like, oh no, wavy, and then I got back on. So it's okay. It's okay. Is it perfect? No. But are you going to have more time to practice with other things? Yeah. So is this perfect? Yes. It's perfectly done. Here's the back. And now we have all 7 sheets done and complete. So what you are going to do is you are going to staple these together. Put your name and your period, and you are going to turn these into our turn-in pile. And pat yourself on the back for a job well done.